Trump is our savior. Biden is our savior. Sometimes I feel like my shoes are cemented to the Twilight Zone set and I cannot, for the life of me, move. If you just vote harder this election season, we're going to make America great again. That's all it takes is your vote. It's your voice. It's your vote. Just amazing. Amazing. I just want to start off by saying you can be a narcissistic a-hole, can't you, in America? And if you are a narcissistic a-hole, I don't think you can rival the narcissistic a-hole tendencies of the boys in blue, but they seem to have no problem with calling somebody who's not a part of their group a narcissistic a-hole. We are going to talk about this guy right now. His name is Richard. He was covered in not only the Broken Arrow YouTube channel, but also from the civil rights lawyer. But I've got an update because there was a news article released after this guy was released from jail, and he was released from jail by Chief Brandon Berryhill from the Broken Arrow Police Department. We are going to talk about this, but first we're going to go through the moments that led up to Richard's arrest. And you tell me if it was justified, if it was warranted. But I've got to ask you, before we go through this, not to get entangled in emotion or the cult of personality. Detach yourself from maybe being a backer of the boys in blue, the thin blue line, and just look at things through the lenses of what is just, what is true, what is right. And you tell me if the officer's actions were right. And I'm not in any way condoning the actions of Richards because from all accounts, from the interviews I've seen, from his neighbors, people who live closest to him, and we're going to look at some statements from them about Richard, he doesn't look to be a very good person, but you have to step outside of what you believe people are and try to make a determination whether what the cops did was right or not. Check this out.
I'm Chief Brandon Berryhill of the Broken Arrow Police Department. On May 29th in the 1200 block of West Quincy, officers responded to a parking violation complaint. During the investigation, it was later deemed to be a disturbance. As a result, a homeowner in the area was arrested. Internal review systems alerted my office of the issue, and I ordered the immediate release of the homeowner. The officer in question has been placed on administrative leave pending the outcome of the internal affairs investigation. We take the situation seriously, and in full transparency, we're releasing the following video.
It appears this has turned into a disturbance. Hello.
Good evening.
What's going on?
It's because I'm trying to get this yard done and he doesn't like how I'm parking.
Okay.
Even though I did allow room for everybody else to park because there's nowhere for me to park without.
Now, let me ask you, if you live in a cul-de-sac, would you have a problem with the way this lawn care guy parked his truck? It looks like he parked it conscientious of the fact that, hey, there's a lot of people in this cul-de-sac. I don't want to block anybody's driveway. You'll see from a side angle how far he is away from this particular driveway right here to the right. But would you guys have any problem at all with the way this lawn care guy parked his truck so that he could have access and mow the yards?
Without blocking somebody's mailbox or their driveway when that's the yard I'm trying to get to. He's trying to tell me I'm supposed to park down by the elementary school. But I did accommodate, make sure I had my cones out, and I got space to get around. And as you saw, his own vehicle, he was still able to get out of his own driveway and block the whole freaking section off, which is what he was saying. He couldn't even back out of his driveway because I was blocking the road.
Okay. Well, all right then.
And of course, too, when I first pulled up here, I got started. Before I even made my first pass, he came out there, jumped in, and yelled, "Hey, you can't be parking there. How the hell am I supposed to get out of my driveway? If you don't fucking move it, I'm going to call the cops." And pokes me, jabbed him right in the chest.
He jabbed you in the chest?
Yes, sir.
You want to file assault and battery charges?
Now, that's what I have a problem with. Would you dare put your hands on anybody except in self-defense? If it's true that Richard poked his finger into the chest of the long guy when the long guy looks to have done nothing wrong. I got a serious problem with that.
If he wants to press the matter about being how he is, then yes. Otherwise, if we can just let things bygones be bygones, then I'd say let it go. But if he wants to keep acting like that, then yes.
Hello. How are you?
Just a neighbor, man. I'm just gonna say, I mean, Richard, he's a fucking prick. I mean, he's always doing stuff like this. I mean, this guy's just trying to work, cut yards. And, I mean, he does stuff like this all the time.
Oh, I'm very familiar with
I'm
Mr.
sure you
McMahon.
are. Yeah. He's
Yeah.
Now, I got to believe that people are aware that they're on body cam and that Richard will one day see his very next door neighbor, because this is Richard's house right here. Richard's house is this, you see the white top right here. This guy is coming out of this house. So his very next door neighbor is talking about what a prick Richard is. I don't think these people care that Richard, in their eyes, is an a-hole. I don't think they care if Richard sees that. That tells me that, wow, there's a problem in this neighborhood, possibly with that one neighbor named Richard.
I'm just sorry. I just wanted to vouch for him because I know you're just trying to do your thing, and he's always got to be a fucking.
I mean, like you heard him, how does that make sense for me to go park down by the elementary school to come way down here on my mower? And
just-
that's not logical at all.
Anywhere block anything for him, he just loses his mind.
If you exist in this cul-de-sac, he loses his
Literally, I
mind.
mean, it's pretty ridiculous.
And like you saw, like he's saying, he couldn't back out. He had plenty of room, even with my tailgate down.
Yeah,
And
he's
he
made
was
that
able to get
argument
out of his driveway, and he decided to try to barricade me in here.
Okay. Did you at any point in time try to leave?
No, I'm still working. I just got done with
He
mowing. I'm
could
just
leave
starting with
if he
the edge.
wanted to. Richard was blocking the road.
So just to be clear, Richard had a problem with the way the lawn guy was parking his truck. So Richard got out of his driveway, obviously not blocked, or he wouldn't have been able to get out of his driveway, and went to the mouth of the cul-de-sac. And according to the testimony of the lawn guy, and not just this neighbor, but other neighbors and the cops, Richard blocked the entrance, ingress and egress of the cul-de-sac. That's their testimony.
Yeah.
Still saw his car out here.
I'm just about done with the edge, and I still got to weed eat and then blow it, and then I'm heading off to the next one.
Okay. You have your ID on you.
Certainly.
Lesson number 1. Why in the hell would you relinquish your ID when you have done nothing wrong? Hey, I don't want to be in a police database. Hey, fellow Americans, wake the frick up. Do you not have YouTube? Have you not seen the hundreds of thousands of videos where you need to protect your identity in the presence of police? And yet this lawn guy is going to relinquish his identity to a law enforcement agent when he hasn't been suspected of committing a crime. Hey, do you suspect me of committing a crime, officer? I'd really rather stay anonymous here, but there's none of that. Yeah, why does the cop even ask him to be insecure in his person?
That's a sad part, right? Your neighbor. All right, hold time for me. Okay.
Is it okay if I go ahead and keep working?
Yeah, I don't care.
Number 2, lesson number 2. Why would you ask permission of a cop if you can keep on working? That's not the cop's call. Americans, find your testicles. Find your principles, find your morals. Stop looking to others to give you the answer. Hey, just want to let you know I'm finishing these yards. I'll be in the yard if you need me. But you probably won't need me because I'm not really involved in this. I didn't call you. I don't want to interact with you.
Mr. McMahon was on one. Yeah, I'm recording. Mr. McMahon was on one when I got here.
Let's see if he's in your cage.
I haven't quite determined what we want to do yet. So I get here and he's got his little 4-door car blocking the entire cul-de-sac so that he can't leave. As soon as I pull down the street, he beats feet and pulls back into his garage, shuts all the doors, goes inside. Talking to the RP, who's the lawn guy over here, he asked if he'd start weeding again. I'm like, yeah, sure. Start talking to him, and he's like, yeah, he's on a tirade about how I'm blocking the cul-de-sac. He can't get out of his driveway. He says at one point, Richard takes his finger and shoves it into his chest. I said, well, do you want to press charges for the assault and battery? And he's like, yeah, well, not if he doesn't want to do anything. Kind of a let me think about it situation. because Richard is pissed off that he's blocking the cul-de-sac. So basically, lawn guy, Mr.
Which the lawn guy is actually not blocking the cul-de-sac, obviously.
Nunley is like, listen, if he doesn't want to do anything, if he just wants to drop it, I just want to drop it. Even the firefighter neighbor right there with the 2 trucks, he was trying to get in his driveway. Richard's blocking the entire cul-de-sac, won't let him in. And he comes out and he's like, yeah, Richard's a fucking prick. And I'm like, yep, he is. Yeah, we're very aware. So really at this point, I was just going to see what all traffic charges I have on Richard.
Let's see, what kind of trumped up charges can we get Richard on so we can get our hands on him? That's what we're talking about. This is skirting very close to the edge of, if not jumping into the pool of 18 USC 241 conspiracy against rights. It looks like there's a conspiracy going on, because all you need for a conspiracy is 2 people hatching a nefarious plan against another person who's not a part of that group. It looks an awful lot like conspiracy against rights.
Illegal parking probably would be my guess. Because I asked him, I was like, were you trying to leave it all? And he's like, no, he was just blocking the cul-de-sac. So I'm like, okay. Which I can write him a citation for, because I saw that. And then we just need to determine whether or not he wants to press charges for the assault and battery.
Oh, Richard hit him?
He took his finger and shoved it into his chest. It would bring me great pleasure if we could take Richard McMahon to jail tonight. So
now we've got a personal issue with the cop and Richard. You're going to hear the cop actually say, I hate Richard. I can't stand this guy. It would bring me great pleasure to lock this guy into a cage. You gotta know, when you hear that kind of language, they're looking for anything to get you on. Hey, Richard, stop giving people an excuse to lay hands on you.
I'm assuming, Mr. Traffic Officer, that you cannot block an entire roadway with your vehicle. So
Was the truck actually blocking his driveway?
that's where it has been the entire time. Now, here's the question I have. To me, as a patrol officer, that's fine, because where else are you going to park it? But
Yeah.
technically, is that considered parking in the middle of the road?
Is it impeding traffic? People have been flowing around.
Well, McMahon's claim was that he could not get around it, but clearly he was able to if he was blocking it in.
Yeah, and that's a logical point. Richard could go into his driveway. He could come out of the driveway. The lawn care guy is obviously not blocking anybody, unless this huge box truck, FedEx truck, came into the cul-de-sac and couldn't turn around. But even then, a FedEx driver could go in by next to the lawn guy, make his delivery in the cul-de-sac, back out. So I don't see the lawn guy blocking anything.
So
I don't understand this guy.
he's a narcissist. He's a narcissist with nothing better to do.
And there is the ironic statement of the day. That is the ironic statement of the day. You've got a cop, a narcissistic, psychopathic cop who thrives on laying his hands on people who have not broken the law, let alone commit a crime. And he's going to call somebody else who doesn't have a badge on a narcissist. Now, Richard may be a narcissist. He may even be a psychopath, but I don't think you can rival the narcissistic psychopathy of a law enforcement officer. Let's listen to that ironic statement again.
So
I don't understand this guy.
he's a narcissist. He's a narcissist with nothing better to do.
It's crazy.
Who's the neighbor he has issues with?
All of them.
The one on the backside.
Well, and then this one down here, he has issues with.
This one over here is kind of race related, isn't it?
Mhm.
'Cause he's always saying he doesn't like
Who's the one with the PO against him?
the one on the back.
The one on the backside. Yeah.
But is one of these the ones he always calls about the kids?
That's that one back there.
We're going to talk about that in a second, straight from the horse's mouth.
No person shall park a vehicle within a street or alley in such a manner or under such conditions as to leave available less than 10 feet of width of roadway for the free movement of vehicular traffic.
So we find out later that it's more than 20 feet on all sides. So now we get to the next segment of this video.
So How about you and I go talk to the victim over here, see if he wants.
And what is with the super trooper pedo mustaches on cops lately? What is going on with this? Is there something? I mean, did I not get the memo? What's going on here, man?
Press charges for the assault and battery, and I was going to add him to the call real quick. That's right. I know.
Shouldn't get away with
Fucking McMahon. I hate this guy.
it. You can't race the wrong.
I hate this guy. It would bring me great pleasure to go hands on, slap the cuffs on, kidnap this guy, and take him away into a cage. It would bring me great pleasure for somebody I hate so much. Not a good attitude. Not a good attitude if you're going to have the ring of power.
Yep. Oh, I hate Richard McMahon. I don't care.
He couldn't make it more clear. Thank you, officer.
Oh, I'll stand back and let you guys take care of it. I just think he's a douchebag.
Tell us how you really feel.
Back in your yard. This is Airbnb. I'm just renting it. I'm only here for 2 days.
I'm trying to get a hold of the lawn guy.
Oh, I think he's back there. Yeah.
Okay.
Airbnb right here.
Well, that's because nobody wants to live next to this guy.
So now the cop speculates that the reason this house that they're going into the backyard of to talk to the lawn guy, the reason he is speculating, this cop is, they have an Airbnb is because no homeowner in the neighborhood wants to live next to Richard. That may be true. Richard may be a really bad guy, but what the cops do here, and this is the societal disconnect. This is the cognitive dissonance people get themselves into. They will jump completely with both feet on board the thin blue line train leaving the station because Richard is an a-hole. Now, I don't mind if somebody goes hands on you or anybody else if you've committed a crime and they're trying to stop you in the commission of a crime so that you can stop hurting kids, stop stealing goods, stop damaging goods, stop harming other people. But as soon as you do what these cops do right here, they have crossed the line. And at that point, you got to disconnect your emotions and go, okay, I will acknowledge the fact that Richard is an A1 grade A certified a-hole, but you should never cross the barrier of a homeowner's threshold. And that's what they're about to do.
Here's your ID back, man. So,
Should have never gave your ID, man.
do you want to press charges for the assault and battery?
Is he still trying to press me? Am I potentially facing a ticket for not parking legally?
As from what I can see, you haven't done anything wrong at all.
Is he still being good? What?
I
I really don't want to, but
Okay. Okay.
as long as everything's okay. I mean, I was pretty sure I was parked legally because I didn't obstruct anything.
It's
This lawn guy seems like a good guy. He just wants peace. Okay, the guy pushed his finger into my chest and he's an a-hole, but I just want to walk away from this whole thing. I don't want to see somebody locked up. He seems like a good-natured guy.
it's not the greatest, but I also see that, from a practicality standpoint, you don't have a whole lot of other options. Ordinance says you have to leave at least 10 feet all the way around the trailer. You've done that. So I don't see anything wrong with it. It's just this guy's this guy.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Just in case he might come back out, because even when I told him, I was like, well, then if you're going to keep acting that way, I'll just press charge on you for assault. He's like, well, you ain't got it on camera, do you? Because of his attitude, what's going on, if you wouldn't mind just waiting like 5 or 10 minutes and I'll be done, just in case he tries to come back out.
Yeah,
It's
we'll leave somebody out in the cul-de-sac for you.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
This guy just doesn't want any trouble. And like I said before, if Richard actually did enter this guy's space and put his finger on another man without his consent, Richard did wrong. Richard doesn't look like he's a good guy. He doesn't play well with others.
Oh, Richard McMahon.
Oh, Richard.
First, I thought it was going to be the same one he's called in like 2 days for the past 2
Look at, okay, so here's the side view that I was talking to you about. Look at how far the back of this guy's trailer is away from the closest driveway. We're going to later discover that it's over 20 feet on all sides. This is a big cul-de-sac right here. The lawn care guy was so conscientious that he actually put traffic cones on the sides of his vehicle so that people could see it, so he's more visible.
He's called in on some vehicle that's been out here.
Well, that's what I thought too, which is why I was like, well, I'll just go ahead and head to it. But he's just 25 feet.
And then
Wow.
The other thing would be the trailer, but the trailer is 14 feet. It's not 24 feet.
So 25 feet on the left and the right, and 20 feet on the back from the trailer to the closest driveway. Richard is just seems like he's just being a troublemaker.
All right, well, he doesn't want to press charges for anything, so we'll just.
Yeah, I don't see the proof that Richard poked this guy in the chest. I'm saying if he did poke him in the chest, if he put his hands on this guy, then he did to others what he wouldn't want others to do to him, and he has violated the most basic law of humanity, the golden rule.
Let it go. He's not going to answer the door for his improper parking, so.
You want to try?
Sure.
He, when I was measuring, he did open the door, so he's right there.
No.
Did he answer the door? Like, did he open the door out of curiosity?
He opened the door and then looked and then closed the door. So he's by the door. He's walking.
Of course he is. Yeah, we can try.
We're about to meet Richard.
Hello. Just want to let you know that the trailer is legally parked. Oh.
Now, this is going to be important right here because Pepper the dog just got out of his front door, and the cops are going to say later, hey, maybe we should get him on animal at large. This is something that I didn't see brought up on the civil rights lawyer. There's actually a couple things. There's a couple what people would call minor things, but it shows you the mentality of a cop, the cancerous, tyrannical mindset where they're going to try to get you on anything, and they will consider the most vague thing, they will consider the most mundane thing as something they could pin another charge on you for. So Pepper just got out, and now he's going to close his glass screen door here, or glass door.
So I can go park anywhere in the cul-de-sac the way he's parked.
The way he's parked is legal. The way you were parked when I showed up was not. So I need to see your driver's license so I can issue a citation for blocking the roadway.
I need to see your driver's license so I could issue you a citation. This guy couldn't just put a citation on this man's car. Did he have to go to the door? Couldn't he do like the Jehovah's Witnesses and put a little pamphlet in the crevice of your door and then just let bygones be bygones? And that's it. Obviously, the lawn guy wasn't interested in pressing charges and lets Richard continue to, push the issue. Why don't options get considered when you're talking about a law enforcement agent?
I didn't block the road.
Yes, you did. I saw you when you listen. Hey! I'm investigating a traffic crime. You do not have the right to do that. You are detained.
There was no traffic crime. If there was anything regarding traffic, it was just an infraction. There's no crime, which means there's no victim. Nobody was harmed. Nobody was threatened. No property was damaged, and he refused to pay for it. This is just a traffic infraction. So now the guy who said, I'm investigating a traffic crime, is about to commit a real crime, violating this man's right to be secure in his home.
You are detained.
Come in my house.
You are detained.
For what?
For the traffic violation I observed. I need to see your
You're detaining me
license.
for a traffic violation.
Yes, I am. Open the door.
You're detaining.
Come here. You are under arrest. You are under arrest.
Now, everything from here on out is criminal activity recorded on body cam, and the crimes are being committed by not just one law enforcement officer who from the Broken Arrow Police Department in Oklahoma, not just one officer who is now on paid administrative leave. The crime was committed by this officer and his other 3 or 4 buddies, but they are not put on paid administrative leave pending an investigation. The crime is in action right now.
Yep, you are under arrest.
All 5 of you. Hey!
You got a gun?
Hey! Let me go!
under arrest. Quit resisting.
Not resisting!
Give me your arm.
Stop resisting. Stop resisting my tyranny. I'm telling you, man. We got tyranny going on, and we don't need you getting in the way. What's up with that?
Good Lord! Hey, guys. Oh, my goodness. Don't break my...
Well, then,
Quit resisting.
Ow!
Quit resisting.
I'm not... Ow!
You are actively resisting against me.
I am not... Holy...
Now you're under arrest for resisting arrest, obstruction, and the parking violation.
Okay.
All right, don't move so I can get these locked.
And a lot of Americans applaud this because Richard, in their estimation, and they might be right, is an a-hole. He's a narcissistic a-hole who makes life difficult for other people. And so they applaud this action without going, hey, yeah, he's a narcissistic a-hole and he may even be a psychopath, but nothing could be more narcissistic and psychopathic than a bunch of men in clown suits jumping out of clown cars and going into an American's house. Nobody, like, I mean, I don't see people who are highly sympathetic to the Thin Blue Line gang, at least most of them, saying that. Now we'll see some positive comments under the Facebook page and under the Broken Arrow YouTube channel, but I don't understand people not being able to discern what's actually going on here.
I never resisted you to begin with.
Yes, you did.
All 5 of you hit me.
It's all on body cam, sir.
Yes, it is.
All right, we're going to get you rolled over.
Yes, it is.
All right. All right. Let's stand yet.
All right. Wait.
All righty.
Can I bring anything with me?
What would you like?
My cell phone.
Where's it at?
Right there.
We will grab it. Anything else?
That should do it.
Okay.
You want your shoes?
Oh, yeah.
Let's try to count the cops. So there's, let's see, there's 1, 2, the guy with the body cam, that's 3. Let's count all the cops involved in this.
Should do it.
We really need all of their names, all of their badge numbers.
You want your shoes?
They all violated this guy's 4th Amendment right to be secure in his house.
Oh, yeah.
his dog lost it.
There's a leash right there, Sleeper.
What's your dog's name? Pepper. Guys, why did you assault me?
There's the 4th guy. So there's at least 4 cops that need to be investigated.
We were attempting to investigate the crime and you tried to shut the door on us. Other shoe.
What crime?
Parking violation. Come on. Hey.
I'm going, guys. I'm
Hey.
going. I'm going.
Hey, real quick. We did this once. Do not do
Ow!
it. Hey, stop. This can go either which way you choose.
I'm
All right?
choosing to.
This can go, here's the deal. This could go one of 2 ways. It's going to go my way or it's going to go my way. Now, which side do you choose?
Go
Easily walk out there, or you can keep fighting us and go back to the ground. Do you understand?
Come on,
It's
Pepper.
yes or no?
Okay, so now they're getting Pepper back in the house.
Yes.
I'm going to freeze frame it. Here's Pepper's tail right here. Can you see Pepper? Now, keep this in mind because one of the cops is going to consider maybe we should also, in addition to all these other charges we're getting Richard on, maybe we should also bring up the charge of animal at large
All right, let's go.
when the animal's not at large. And the only reason he was at large for a brief moment was because of the cops.
I'm not gonna. I thought I could walk out here peacefully.
And like I said, this could be the face of an arsehole, guys. He could be a really, really bad dude. But let me just back it up right here. Let me just show you something. This doorway right here, a doorway like this should be shown to every federal, state, and local law enforcement agent in the entire country. And it should be impressed upon them and burned into their heart and their conscience that this is a sacred place. You don't cross this except for 3 reasons. You got a warrant, you were invited, or there's exigent circumstances and there's somebody that you know is on the other side of that door that needs help. And if you don't break down that door and give them help, they might die. That's an exigent circumstances. Only 3 criteria for going across that sacred altar, let's call it. That's how all Americans should be. It's like, this is my door. You don't come into my house unless I invite you, or you got a warrant, and that's debatable right there. Or there's somebody on this side of the door that needs help. Like if my mom was visiting for the summer, let's say, and a cop happened to be passing by, or anybody happened to be passing by, and my mom's like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna die," or whatever, and somebody breaks down my door to save my mom, I don't have a problem with that. But they better have a dang good reason in their exigent circumstance claim to come in. So every single law enforcement agent in the country, in the world, should be shown the doorway of a house and say, this line you shall not cross ever. And if you see one of your buddies cross it and they didn't have a damn good reason to be in there, I mean a constitutional reason, and you break that plane, then you're going to be just as guilty as that guy, because they all went in. All four of them. I counted 4. If you disagree with me, I want to hear your disagreement in the comments.
Let's go. I'm not gonna. I thought I could walk out here peacefully. I thought that.
Yeah, we shut the door. Keep walking.
Okay, did you hear that? Listen, this is very important. This is key. Listen to this lady. One of the neighbors pulls up. I'll show you her car. Here's her car right here. Can you see that? Oops, that's her car. Listen, let's see if you can hear what she says. What are you arresting him for?
Keep walking.
Ask him. I don't know.
Richard says, I don't know what they're arresting me for. Keep that in mind, because they're going to talk about that neighbor here in a second.
Yeah, what am I doing with?
I told you.
Where do you go to the store back there?
Did somebody grab my thumb?
Here you go. All right, Rick, you have anything on you?
No.
Okay. Take your glasses off. There we go.
Sleeper, did you get the phone? Where'd you get the phone? It was right next to that end table.
Let me get the air turned on for you.
Okay, there's 2 more things I'm going to point out. Here comes some criminal intent by a law enforcement agent who's supposed to be protecting and serving in less than 5 seconds. Listen closely.
Yep.
You could also get animal at large. You really want to.
Well, I don't think we can put.
We can also get him animal at large if we really want to get him, one of the cops suggests. And then the other cop says, no, I don't think, we probably shouldn't do that. We got the body cams on.
Well, I don't think we can push the animal at large.
Yeah, I'm not willing to push that.
Did Sleeper get the dog back inside?
Yeah,
They ran
dog's
back.
back inside.
I mean, it's good that the other cops didn't want to push that, but that it was suggested anyway shows you the metastic characteristics of tyranny inside the mind of a guy who grabbed the ring and power and calls himself a public servant and a hero to the community.
Was
But
that,
wait, there's more.
who was that to him, the female?
Pretty sure it's just a neighbor. So,
Well, she jumped in to get involved pretty quick, didn't she?
sure did, didn't she?
Did you hear that? They just talked about that lady who just asked, hey, why is he being arrested? Hey, that's a good question. Why are you arresting my neighbor? What's going on? I should know. I lived next to this guy. What's going on? Did he kill somebody? Was he a part of a school shooting? Did he detonate something in the center of town? And I should know that about this. What's going on? Those are logical questions. If you live next to somebody that you see is being taken away from cuffs, if one of my neighbors was taken away with cuffs, you better believe the first thing I would do is get out my video camera and protect this guy from law enforcement abuse. But it's not a half bad question to ask, why is my neighbor being carted away? Why does he have handcuffs on? Why are you arresting him? So here's what they say about her.
Who was that to him, the female?
Pretty sure it's just a neighbor. So,
Well, she jumped in to get involved pretty quick, didn't she?
sure did, didn't she?
She jumped in to get involved pretty quick, didn't she? She sure did, didn't she? Yeah, she did. Well, you got every right to ask those questions. Now watch this.
You want to go ahead and just get him down there?
Look at this guy. This guy in the background. That's the other cop who's going back into Richard's house. Can you see him? He's right here. This is the other cop going back into Richard's house without Richard or anybody being in the house to go retrieve something. I think his cell phone off the table or something.
There.
Yeah.
I'll write.
Go with him.
Please.
Okay.
I'll write up the obstructing the flow of traffic or the improper parking citation.
Obstructing the flow of traffic, improper parking,
And we'll do the resisting obstruction on top of that.
and resisting and obstructing, in this case, tyranny. Resisting and obstructing.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll document that when we get down to the jail. We'll have to do a blue team on it. So, yeah.
I didn't render any strikes at all.
No one rendered strikes.
I understand, but I'm just letting you know.
Well, because it drew blood, well,
I know, I'm just letting General, hey, I didn't take any use of force tactics.
yeah, I know. But we'll still need to blue team it. So,
No, absolutely. Okay.
yeah,
All right, I'll get him down here. Are you in custody?
I'll take it.
We'll both be down there.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
Okay.
Whoever.
All right.
All right, thank you. He's got the cell phone.
Okay.
Frank 228. Would you show me in custody to Dole Mill? All right, I'll meet you down there.
Okay, so that's that. Let me just show you before we go on to this website, which is the Broken Arrow Facebook page. Let me just show you this Fox 23 report where they actually interviewed some of Richard's neighbors.
Need to see your license.
For a traffic violation.
Yes, I am. Open the door.
You're detained.
Come here. You are under arrest. You are under arrest.
Five of you.
Yep, you are under arrest.
Tonight, we are learning new details about the man at the center of this incident involving Broken Arrow police that triggered an internal investigation. Thanks so much for joining us at 10. I'm Shay Rozzi.
And I'm Sarah Whaley. We first told you on Fox 23 News at 5, an officer arrested the homeowner for a parking violation last week in a neighborhood near 91st and Elm. When the chief looked into the arrest, he released the homeowner and put the officer on administrative leave.
Fox 23 weekend anchor David Bowden went to that neighborhood today and joins us live in studio. David, you actually talked with the man who was arrested. What did he tell you?
He told me a lot. Well, Richard McMahon is the person taken into the ground and arrested in that body camera video. The Broken Arrow homeowner spoke to me off camera and said this afternoon that he is no stranger to Broken Arrow police. Now, while he suddenly was released after that arrest, I learned that he's had several encounters with neighbors, and they tell me that they aren't surprised with how this played out by police.
You are under arrest. You are under arrest.
Five of you.
Yep, you are under arrest.
The body camera video is dramatic.
Hey.
Richard McMahon being manhandled in this video all over a parking violation. Police and McMahon say that he parked in front of a truck that was parked in his cul-de-sac in an attempt to block that individual from leaving before police arrived. When Broken Arrow police arrived on the scene, McMahon was questioned about the incident. Then officers said they needed his driver's license so that he could be issued a ticket. Then this happened.
You are detained.
While McMahon was released a day later.
You know what I find interesting? That mainstream media never, and I don't care if it's this local Fox 23 affiliate or whatever, I noticed that mainstream media never says the police did what appears to be, reportedly appears to be, they could even say, a violation of this man's sacred Fourth Amendment right to be secure in his home.
He's not out of trouble. He spoke with us in his driveway and inside his home as he showed us videos of other encounters he's had with his neighbors. According to court records, he has 2 protective orders against him, and some neighbors are.
I want to hear them interview Richard. Richard, you got 2 protective orders against you. Why is that? You've had a lot of run-ins with the cops. Why is that? Your neighbors don't seem to like you very much. Why is that?
Saying he's no angel.
After about a month after we moved in, we had our neighbor over here. Basically, he's just been harassing us.
Cheyenne Armstrong recalls one instance where she was speaking with a friend outside of her home.
And started calling us the N-word and, cussing us out and all kinds of things. And that's how it started. And
Well, the incident between McMahon and the Broken Arrow police remains under investigation, with the chief not.
That was a whole bunch of nothing. I'm looking up on my other screen. I'm trying to find out if there's a Richard McMahon Broken Arrow. Let me see. Broken Arrow interview. I don't even see one. That is not honest journalism. When you can't even interview the guy who's been charged and find out his side of the story, that's I don't call that journalism.
Not saying publicly why his agency released McMahon and why the officer, who is now sidelined while this internal affairs investigation continues. We are in the studio tonight. I'm David Bowden.
Sidelined. Yeah, with pay. Here is the Broken Arrow YouTube channel. This person appears to be a neighbor. Because of him, me and my stepdaughter can't have our kids out in front to play or ride their bikes. I wonder what the details are on that. I wonder if this is the case. He's such a narcissistic person. I left in a narcissistic relationship. I now have to deal with one as a neighbor. He's never going to learn. Narcissistic people they always get away with so much. This person says, with frequent flyers like McMahon, I can't fault the officer. You can't fault the officer for violating a man's Fourth Amendment. I don't care what you think about McMahon. I don't care what kind of person McMahon is. When you start applauding the demolition of your rights by law enforcement, if you applaud the demolition of one man's rights, you're applauding the demolition of your rights for yourself. An injustice that is committed against one man anywhere, and it clearly is committed against McMahon right here, no matter what kind of person you think Richard is, that same injustice is going to befall you. It sounds like he has a history of wasting our officers' time playing stupid games, win stupid prizes. On one of those, on some level, I understand. It's like, man, if you continue to be an a-hole, karma is going to catch up to you, and it may appear to you in the form of injustice. He should have presented his identification and taken his citation, but he had to slam the door on the officers and then resist. He definitely escalated. He escalated the issue. This is nothing short of victim blaming. He deserves to be arrested. Why did the chief release him? You need to back your officers. You need to back your officers' tyranny. The chief needs to stand by his officers. And yes, he was resisting arrest. He was resisting an unlawful arrest, which is called tyranny. Dude was an absolute D, but you can't force your way into a home without a warrant or life-threatening circumstances. These cops need better training. No, these cops, every one of them, they don't need desk duty. They don't need paid administrative leave. They actually need to be fired and jailed. As an example to all officers everywhere, at least in the state of Oklahoma, or at least in Broken Arrow, that you don't pass the sacred altar of a man's threshold to his home. Moral of the story, don't be an ass. Karma in full force. Yeah, that may be karma. I don't know. Absolutely amazing. I don't know why the Broken Arrow Police Department put this officer on leave. You really don't. You really don't. From what we all see is a douchebag that got what he deserved. By the way, y'all, I have called Broken Arrow Police Department and left a message for why the officer's on leave. And I also called Fox 23 News on 6 and Channel 8 and 2 here in Tulsa, where I live. And none of them know why they don't know why this officer is on leave. Hope to hear soon from y'all at Broken Arrow, Oklahoma Police Department. Like I said in my voicemail, not starting crap, just trying to understand why you put an officer off the street during our times of, I don't know what the rest of it is, it says ... And there's no continued text here. Let me just go over a couple of positive statements from people who look like they might have their heads screwed on straight. Let me see if I can get, let's see. Go into comments. Oops. All comments. I don't know why it's not letting me do that. Let's see. All comments. Here we go. I wonder if I can. Oh, yeah, here we go. This person says we are doomed as a free society. All these people on here willingly wanting their rights violated and think it's okay. Amen. Somebody thinking correctly. This officer is the criminal in this situation. Couldn't agree more. He had no warrant, no exigent circumstances. He should have de-escalated, put the citation on the vehicle, or went to a judge and asked for a warrant, which the judge would have denied anyway. If it was lawful for officers to enter our homes over parking violations, no one would be safe in their homes. Why don't people understand this? It doesn't matter if you like this guy or not. Your rights matter. And if they do it to one person, they will do it to us all. I love that last statement. It doesn't matter if you like this guy or not. Your rights matter. And if they do it to one person, they will do it to us all. I say, well said, well spoken. Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comment section below. What do you think about Richard? Do you think he is a genuine article arsehole? And do you think that that should matter in this case right here? Who was more of a narcissistic arsehole? Was it Richard right here? Or was it the Broken Arrow Police Department who broke into his home for no freaking reason? Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comment section below. Smash that like button and share this with everybody you know. Let me know, guys. Let me know what you think. I'm right here. I see some detractors in the chat room. Let's just go off script here for a second. If you got something bad to say, I'll bring you up. Put a 1 in the room. If you got something bad to say about Chili, or you got an opinion, I would like to hear what your opinion is, and I'll give you the floor. I'll let you speak your piece. You let me know. Let me know if you guys want to do a, kind of a back and forth. Truth fears no scrutiny, guys. If you think Chili belongs in jail, which I vehemently disagree with, because I have not seen any victim produced, any harm done, any property stolen or damaged. If you think that Chili is rightly sitting in a jail in Nevada, let's hear your thoughts. Chili seems to be doing okay. He's got 32 or 33 days left. But I will put, let's see, how do I invite? Let's see, I haven't done it in a while. There it is, the invite link. Chili could technically be in jail for contempt. Yeah, because cops and judges get their feelings hurt, and it's all an ego game. Byron, you want to talk? Do you believe, Byron? I think you're one of the ones who thinks that he should be in jail. There's another guy, I can't remember his name. Maybe there's a couple of you. Maybe a couple of you want to come in and tag team. This may sound strange, but I just learned about the meaning of the thin blue line and its placement between their oath and the Constitution and their ode to the agency. Byron, you want to come forward? Does anybody think that Chili should be in jail? I don't listen to the calls. I've been there, but I respect his process. He broke the law, says Scott Keller. Scott, do you want to come forward? I think you're one of the ones that's a detractor. What law did he break? What law? What law did he break? Here, I'm just going to put, you know what? If one of you guys, I really only want to speak to the people who are, being negative. I don't mind. I don't shy away. I know Chili doesn't do this, but hey, we ain't got nothing to hide. I want a better America. And I don't think you can have a better America when tyranny is constantly poking through the seams. Byron says, just he did behave badly in court. I agree with that. I agree. I think you should tread lightly when you're dealing with a narcissistic, parasitic functionary of the state, because you know what's going to happen. They're going to get their feelings hurt, and you may be right. But it's dangerous to be right when the government is wrong. And when you start acting on attitude and it's going to push buttons and throw off a whole bunch of chain of events where somebody's ego gets damaged and they feel like they got to protect themselves in the system, and you committed contempt of court. I don't see how it's going to go good for you. Maybe, Byron, maybe, we all have some degree of narcissism, or we would never get up. I mean, and I'm saying that there's a level of narcissistic tendencies, but narcissism is what causes you to get up and look in the mirror and make sure your hair is straight before you walk out the door, because you don't want people to think bad of you. You don't want to be poked fun at or whatever. Or you would just wake up, not even knock the sleep out of your eyes. You just go to work in pajamas or whatever. Everybody's got ego. Everybody's got ego. Some people have a level of ego that just seems like it's intolerable.
That's it.
Stanley is here. What's up, Stanley? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Good.
And,
what you got?
Yeah, I got that. Chili doesn't belong in jail. That's something I think. Because, he's always shouting. Maybe it's wrong, but it's a right in America. So, the police are, like little children, I think, in America. I see a lot of violence, and they always, for traffic stops, they even kill people, shoot people, and tase people, and you were over the line. And then they pull them out of the car and in the cuffs, and it's crazy what I see.
Now, are you saying? Let me be clear here. Are you saying that yes, you believe Chili belongs in jail?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I said that I think he doesn't belong in jail.
Oh, got you. Okay.
No, because he stepped back and he kept his distance. He only asked the lady for what's happening, and then when he came back, he directly pulled back for 3 meters, or how do you call it, 10 feet?
Couple feet, yeah.
10 feet. So and what I see is a lot of I think that most Americans are nice people, and I think there are too many police for the things they have to do, and sometimes they just target people. That's what it looks like in America.
It does look like that. Now, where are you from?
I'm from Holland, Amsterdam.
And are you still there, or are you in America?
No, I'm in Holland at the moment.
What state?
Amsterdam.
Oh, you're in Amsterdam now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So what's the
capital city of Holland?
Right. So how is law enforcement in Amsterdam right now? Are they similar to American police, or what?
No, they are not so rude like American police, but here in Holland and Amsterdam, they are like, when nobody looks, they hit you with a stick, and when the people are around, they take the law book. So it's all hidden here, but it doesn't happen. They treat people bad, but not so open like in America, or they don't jump with 20 people on somebody. That's not things that's happening here. Even when they go pull out a terrorist out of an apartment, they go with 4 tactical police, special police. And they only take 4 people and a helicopter in the air and nothing more, and maybe some backup in the background, but nothing more than that. But when I look at American movies or videos, then I see 10, 20 cars or 20 agents that are throwing flashbangs for a child with a gun. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. Hey, I'm not really that up on geopolitics, but is it in Amsterdam that they just within the last like 5-7 years that they completely decriminalized drugs? Am I right in saying that?
No, that's not completely right.
No?
They do it with open hand. They look between the fingers.
What do you mean?
And we got open coffee shops, but there is still yeah, underground movements.
Oh, okay.
And they still buy at the back door, we call it. So
Yeah, but has it changed the landscape as far as criminality? I mean, have crime rates
No.
gone up or down in the last 5 years?
No, I look at that like in the time of the Romans, you got the centurions, and that were then the police, and there's nothing changed from of that time for the people.
Okay. All right. Well, hey man, thanks, Stanley.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining. I appreciate your comments.
Yeah, it was nice to spoke with you once.
Hey, thank you, man. Take care.
Okay, bye bye.
All right. Adding SK. What's up, SK? What's on your mind?
No, you know who I am. This is Scott Keller.
How's it going, man?
You know, every time I listen to you, I don't know where to laugh or call a paddy wagon. You got this theory that any law that has no victim should be abolished and no officer of the law should enforce it because the almighty Brian Young of Oklahoma, redneck Oklahoma, says so.
That's quite a few ad hominems. Is that where we're going with this conversation?
Well, that's what you think. He broke the damn law. His only mistake was he didn't have a jury trial.
Is it redneck Oklahoma? Is that how you view it?
No, inbred Oklahoma. Everyone calls it that word.
Oh, inbred. Okay, is that your opinion?
That's my opinion.
And what do you base that opinion on?
I'm a truck driver. I drive through that area. I've met many of the inbred idiots in that area.
Oh, you know for a fact that they're biologically inbred.
They act it.
Okay.
And they look it.
Okay, so you believe Chili should be in jail then?
He broke a law that's on the books.
What law did he break?
The laws he was charged with.
What law is that?
You know what he was charged with.
No, you tell me. You said he broke a law. What law did he break?
I didn't read the whole thing, but if he didn't break the law, he wouldn't have been charged with it.
So you're sure he broke a law, but you don't know what law he broke, Scott? Come on, seriously? Is that the best you can do?
You saw what he was charged with.
Wait, you just called me. You basically implied that I'm inbred because I live in Oklahoma, but you cannot substantiate your statement that he broke a law. You don't even know what law he broke.
It's just like a cop told him to back up. He moved 1 inch back, thinking it's a badass.
And what law is that, Scott?
You know, there is a lot of states. I don't know about Nevada, but a lot of states have laws that you have to be 25 feet from a crime scene while you're.
Well, he was in Nevada, Scott. So what law did he break?
The laws he was charged with.
This is Scott Keller, ladies and gentlemen. Scott Keller, who just implied that I am an Oklahoma redneck inbred, and he says that Chili broke a law, but cannot tell us what law Chili broke. Thanks, Scott. I appreciate your words of wisdom.
Hey, but just because there's no victim, don't mean you can't be charged.
Oh, I didn't say you couldn't be charged. I'm just saying it's not right. It's not in accordance with the laws of love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, and self-control. It is a violation of the golden rule.
This country wasn't built on love, peace, and all that. It was built on war.
I thought it was built on. I don't disagree with you there, and I'm against that.
Without war, buddy, you wouldn't be standing here. We just celebrated D-Day. The last great generation kicked ass. The generation since the 1970s on up are a bunch of pansy-waist little pussies that couldn't fight their way out of a bag in war.
You know what Major General?
We got cowards today.
You know what Major General Smedley Butler said about World War I, World War II, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, and all the other wars in between? Do you know what highly decorated Marine Smedley Butler, do you know what he said about war?
War is hell. Same.
No, war is a racket, and it only benefits those at the top. It does not benefit the infantrymen, and it does not benefit the country that those infantrymen thought they were fighting for, Scott. I love you, man, and I love you enough to tell you the truth, but you are absolutely lying. The guys fought in D-Day for bankers. They did not fight for democracy or America or freedom.
Go tell that to a D-Day vet.
I'm already telling you what the most highly decorated Marine of that time in that era said. He said war is a racket. You couldn't get more
I'm not-
at that time. You could not get more, Scott. You could not get more highly decorated during that time than Major General Smedley Butler. That was the highest you could possibly go. And he says,
I'm not disagreeing
war,
with that. I'm not disagreeing. There's only one true war this country ever fought that was necessary.
What's that?
The Revolutionary War.
Okay, so then what? Tell me about the D-Day people. What you just made a case about D-Day?
They went. They had to do. We were bullied into that war. We were dragged in. We were attacked.
It was an unrighteous war,
Pearl
right?
Harbor.
It was an unrighteous war, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with that, Scott.
Yep.
But it sounded like that's not the direction that you were going in when you said that.
No one likes war, but this country was still built on war.
I don't disagree with you. That doesn't make it right. Shouldn't we stand against that which is wrong?
Yeah. Sometimes you can't.
Well, I mean, maybe we agree on more stuff than we disagree on, Scott. I mean, let me ask you a question. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
There's some what you call a victimless crime. Like, it's like me. I there's one thing I say. It's like me. I detest drugs, but to me, it's a waste of resources trying to stop people from smoking marijuana, crack, and all that. Let them. Hey, if someone wants, I say this: let the motherfuckers do up their pills and their narcotics and that. And if they die of a heroin overdose and that, or go to OD, then fuck it. I'm not. Why should we pay? Let them die. I'm a cruel motherfucker.
No. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Let them OD. Let them OD. Why should my tax resources pay to keep these people the OD constantly? I know a gentleman that has OD 3 fucking times. They keep giving him a Narcan, bringing him out of it. And he said he's so thankful for our medical blah blah blah. And my answer is, they shouldn't give you any of that. What do you mean? If you're going to sit there and keep polluting your body and overdosing, living off the system, fuck you. You should be allowed to die. Why should I keep bringing you back? I pay my bills. I pay my taxes. You live off of me, and you think we should just keep bringing you out of a coma? Fuck you. Would
you say that you're somebody who's against the drug war?
Oh, it's a waste of resources.
But what if somebody broke the drug war laws? Should they go to jail?
If you want those laws changed, then you got to change them. Then you got to run for office or get your congressman or whoever to change them. As long as they're on the books, they got to enforce them.
Do you believe that when injustice becomes law, resistance becomes duty?
Yep, but it's kind of hard to fight City Hall.
So you can be right in breaking a law, right? For example, if they made it against the law to harbor Jews in your house and they came door to door, would you break the law by trying to save them?
I'm already Jew.
Well, what I'm saying, you know my point right here, right?
Oh yeah.
Because law, just because it's legal doesn't make it moral, right? And just because it's illegal doesn't make it immoral. So what I'm saying is, you came off right off the bat, pretty hot and heavy at the beginning of this interview. I'm glad we're having a decent conversation now. But you used a lot of ad hominems. Have I called you a name once in this interview?
Nope.
In this dialogue?
I never said you were redneck. I said most people in that state are. I've been through that state.
Well, I know, but you basically, you're condemning me for saying that if there's no victim, there's no crime. How? What do you call it? What's your definition of a crime?
Depends. Everyone's got their own definition. If someone comes into my house, should I be able to like some people may disagree, but if someone breaks in my house, should I be able to shoot them dead?
Well,
like
I think you should.
Really? So, depends. Like, I had a guy come in my house when I was a kid, walked on the front porch and laid down.
Okay.
And my father didn't know who it was. I told him who it was. It was our new neighbor across the street. The guy missed. So, how do you think? So my father should have been able to shoot that guy.
Of course. If he comes, you mean the guy came into your house?
He came in right in the house and laid down. He was coming home from a party. He was intoxicated.
Okay, but how do you know the guy who's in your house isn't going to shoot your kids? You don't know that. So you would be perfectly within your right to take a life if you feel like your life or somebody else that you love is in jeopardy. Don't you agree?
Yep. The guy was unarmed, had nothing. He just walked in intoxicated, lay down on our couch. And when we woke him up, my father woke him up and said, "Oh, I'm in the wrong house."
Thank God that happened. But in other circumstances, if something else happened and you found out the guy was disarmed and intoxicated, and if somebody killed him because he was trying to protect his family, you wouldn't hold that against somebody, would you?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. All right. So give me what's your definition of a crime?
So, well, like someone breaking into a bank or robbing a bank or steal your car.
Okay. I agree with that, but you believe Chili should be in jail because you believe he broke a law and he committed a crime. Who is his victim? Who is Chili's victim?
There don't have to be a victim.
There doesn't have. So was there a victim in that case?
He was his own victim.
No. You can't be your own victim because you're not going to put yourself in jail. I'm saying, was there a victim? Did Chili create a victim in that situation?
He made himself a victim. He's in jail. He's
No.
He's a victim of his own. Listen to me. He's a victim of his own stupidity. If that was me, I would demand a jury trial. Let the jury decide. I would never put my hands of a judge to make my decision. Because there is not a judge. I don't care what judge you go in front of. I don't care from California to Texas to Oklahoma, any judge in the United States. That'd be like if you let the jury decide. Because I'm going to tell you something. Name a judge that'll find you innocent.
You and I are in agreement on that. I don't think it should have been a bench trial. I think it should have. If you're going to have a trial, it should be a jury trial. But that's kind of irrelevant. You said that,
and you don't,
wait. What are you saying? It's irrelevant because you said that Chili committed a crime. And I'm just saying, what was the crime he committed? And at the top of this conversation, you said you couldn't articulate a law that was actually broken. But you're convinced that the judge made the right decision, even though you wouldn't want a judge to judge you. But you're somehow convinced that Zimmerman made the proper decision in putting Chili behind bars for 180 days. So that doesn't make sense to me, Scott. Uh-oh, what happened to Scott?
I'm right here.
Oh, sorry about that. So that doesn't make sense to me. Sorry, I don't know how you got out.
I didn't do nothing.
No, to answer my question though. You don't trust a judge to have your fate in her hands. You'd rather turn it over to a jury trial, but somehow you think the judge made the proper decision in Chili's case, even though you don't know what law was broken or what crime was committed.
Yeah.
Can you answer that?
Nope.
Okay. Well, hey, man, thanks for coming on board, Scott. I appreciate you being here.
Yep.
All right. Thank you. Hey, I just want to read Smedley Butler because we are talking about war. And according to people who know way more about this stuff than I do, and I would refer to Major General Smedley Butler from the book War is a Racket. This is just an excerpt, but this is part of what you can expect from that book. Smedley Butler says, I spent 33 years and 4 months in active military service. And during that period, I spent most of my time as a high-class muscle man for big business, for Wall Street, and for the bankers. Now, the way some tell it, and we just had the D-Day celebration. Matter of fact, I have still up on my tabs, they had this D-Day thing going on, and they interviewed, where is it? They interviewed Joe Biden, and he was over there at the D-Day celebration. They interviewed Tom Hanks. And where the flick is it? Let's see here. We're trying to find it. By the way, if you haven't already, grab your trifold and your 2A cop card. Stand by because I do want to show you this. Where is that? All right, come on. Where are you? Oh boy, I guess I closed it. How did I close that tab? I meant to keep it open because I wanted to do a video on this. Stand by. I aim to find it. Oh, there it is. Yeah, there's Tom Hanks. This is, oh yeah, here it is. Just going to open another tab right here. Wasn't planning on talking about this, but.
Good evening tonight from
into Ukraine to kill right.
top were your words you made. Is Benjamin Netanyahu listening to you?
I think he's listening to me. They were going to go into Russia, into Rafah full bore.
So anyway, here's Biden
Being
being interviewed by ABC, which is always broadcasting crap. And he's talking about how the guys in World War I and World War II, the people during D-Day and World War II, they secured freedom. They secured democracy for the American people. Nothing, according to Smedley Butler, could be further from the truth. Smedley Butler said, I spent 33 years and 4 months in active military service. And during that period, I spent most of my time as a high-class muscle man for big business, for Wall Street and the bankers. You would think if the way some people tell it, the way Biden tells it, the way Trump tells it, the way people who are constantly going to Washington, D.C. saying all these guys in World War I and World War II, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, they were fighting for democracy. You would think if that was true, Smedley Butler would say, I spent most of my time fighting for democracy. But he was saying he spent most of his time as a muscle man for big business, Wall Street, and the banksters. And if he was doing that, then his underlings who were following his command were doing that. And that's what he was directing them to do and who he was directing them to work for. This isn't me saying this. This is this guy, Major General Smedley Butler. I helped make Mexico and especially Tampico safe for American oil interests in 1914. I helped make Haiti and Cuba a decent place for the National City Bank boys to collect revenues. And I helped in the raping of half a dozen Central American republics for the benefit of Wall Street. I helped purify Nicaragua for the International Banking House of Brown Brothers in 1902 to 1912. I brought light to the Dominican Republic for the American sugar interests in 1916. I helped make Honduras right for the American fruit companies in 1903 and China in 1927. I helped see to it that Standard Oil went on its way unmolested. Looking back on it, I might have given Al Capone a few hints. The best he could do was operate his racket on 3 districts. I operated my racket, is the implication, on 3 continents. So when you have people tipping their hat to World War I and World War II veterans, and I've got nothing against the veterans, but you got to ask yourself a question. Could they have been deceived? Are they continually, perpetually being deceived? Feeding us the propagandized lie that the reason you were over there, the reason you were shooting all those bullets and dropping all those bombs and killing all those people was to spread democracy, to further freedom. Could it be that they're believing a lie? According to Smedley Butler, the answer is a resounding absolutely. Absolutely. So maybe you are continuing to perpetuate the lie. So, I don't have anything against Scott Keller. He came out of the gate swinging. It finally turned into kind of a decent conversation, but still, I got questions. I really don't believe Chile or the hundreds, possibly hundreds of thousands of 2.2 million people that are sitting, rotting in jail. What a waste of humanity. I don't think for a second that those guys belong there. As whatever you think about Chile or whatever you think about all those people that you feel like committed a crime, no matter what you think about them, do you really believe that they should have 100% of their freedoms taken away? I'm not in that camp. I'm not in that camp at all. I've got, let me drop the link here for, if you want to help Chili out, grab a couple 5A cop cards, a couple trifolds, help him out while he's in jail. Apparently he only has about 32 or 33 days left in jail. I agree. Byron says, I agree. Chili shouldn't be in, where'd he go? I agree. Chili shouldn't be in jail for what he was sentenced for. Do you think he should be in jail at all? Not only that, you got the cop, Officer Bork, lying on the stand after watching the body cam evidence that Chile actually backed up when 3 separate times Bork said he didn't back up. It's either he did or didn't. And if we can't count on Bork to tell the truth on something that we can verify on video, how do we know he's telling the truth about anything else? All right, guys. I appreciate you. Remember, subscribe to Delete Laws, hit the bell notification icon, smash that like button right now. I appreciate you guys being here, taking the time on your Saturday afternoon. I will see you in the next live stream. Remember, the price of freedom is now and will always be eternal vigilance, because there's always going to be some psychopath who wants to take your freedom away. And indifference to this notion is the means by which the people have and will secure their own oppression. Let's stop securing our own oppression and let's start today. If it's up to me, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. I will see you guys in the next live stream. Take care.